super slow. Just got one. There we are. There we are. Nice fish. A nice looking red, little 2-spotter. Just taking it real slow, bouncing on the bottom. Little flounder there. So, alright. For years, I thought that live bait was a necessity. I wouldn't even fish without live bait, and I wouldn't even fish on days like this. The cold front just came through. We have clear blue skies. We have very strong wind. If you look out there, it's kind of calm here. We're in a protected zone, but out there's big white caps. It's nasty. I definitely can't even get out in the bay in this boat. So this would be a day that I would stay home. I would say that the fish aren't biting, or I'd come up with excuses. And I would never would consider just using artificial lures. And now, right, I can come out here on a day like this and have 100% confidence that I'm not only going to catch some fish, but I should have a pretty good chance of catching a slam. And it's all about, first of all, spot selection. And so in this video, we're going to cover, how to determine a spot that is likely to have a variety of fish, a spot that's likely to enable you to catch slams, even on terrible days like this where it's cold and windy. At least the sun's out, but the clear blue skies, the fish are going to be kind of spooky. All right, so on a day like this, I know that the trend is typically the fish are going to be lethargic. They're going to be seeking warmer water, so that's why we purposely got this protected little cove. And I've been looking around down here. You probably can't see it, but there's some little near these rocks. There's some little glass minnows. There's definitely some bait around here. So we have bait and we have warmth, and so this is a very high probability spot to hold fish. All right, so before we go through this video, just wanted to go on the map and show you, where we were so that you can get an understanding of the type of spot to look for after these cold fronts. And as I mentioned before, it's really about, finding the warmth, because that water just had a big shock. Those fish are not going to be comfortable. And so in this case, here's the area that I was fishing. So here's the cove that we just looked at, plus I fished the shoreline down here that was just on the other side of the boat ramp. The boat ramp is right here in the middle. I'd actually never fished a shoreline before. It was just the best spot. It was the type of spot that I was looking for those given situations. And even though that strong wind was heading south, I knew that at least this area was protected, and it had 3 things that I really look for. Number 1 is structure, right? All 4 fish, redfish, sea trout, snook, flounder, they're all ambush predators. So they typically hang around areas that have structure that they can use to ambush prey. So just looking at this map, I saw that there's a lot of docks. There were some depth contours, which I like. There were some points, right? So here's a big point, another point. And there was just a lot of different things going on instead of just flat sand, right? There's a lot of grass out in the deep stuff, even grass along the shoreline. It just looked like a promising area that I was confident there would be some fish in. All right, well, we're going to go back to the footage. At this point, we were fishing around these docks, and then we're about to just go around this corner and fish down this shoreline. So today, we're going to try to catch a slam. And so in areas like this, the sea trout will typically be out on the deeper, kind of in this little cove here. The sea trout will often be in the little bit deeper stuff. Snook and reds will be closer up at the shoreline. You see these rocks and up underneath these docks. And flounder will be in that area too, in those regions. So, so this one spot, I have a little bit of everything. There we go. We got something. Flounder, yep. This flounder was right on the edges of the rocks. This is a small one, but at least on the board, a really small one. So the cast before, I had a trout follow it up. Little flounder there. So just got here on the board at least. Yeah, the cast before, I saw a little trout. A trout followed it up, and then just then caught a flounder. So we know, again, at least success as far as finding multiple species. Now we have to just try to cover around and see if we can't find some bigger ones. All right, so of all the type of spots I like to fish for slams, especially after cold fronts like this, is docks. Right? We have it's structure. It's a lot of different depths. Whether they're shallow or not or deep. You can still fish the dock. It's just, sometimes they're on the shallow and sometimes they're on the deep end. And it's obviously structure. There's usually bait, it's protection and food. And I've got something playing with me right now, something small. And you just never know what you're gonna catch. So everything, really all the predators use it for both their own protection. Something small has messed with me. They use it for their own protection and for food too, right? Because the smaller fish are using that same structure for protection as well. And so It's just a really high percentage type of area and thing to fish. And that's really throughout all seasons. And so I'm always mindful to fish docks. I love dock fishing. So we're gonna see if we can't get something to cooperate with us. Here, oh, there we are. Oh, another, what is this? A little grouper, yeah. So you can catch grouper. We caught a flounder earlier, so now we have a grouper. Again, just any sort of predator inshore can be caught on these docks. A little small grouper, very small one. We'll let him get bigger. Yeah, part of the joys of dock fishing, every hook set, you never know what it's gonna be. There we are, got something else. A little fish here, so it looks like we have a little jack. Again, testament that you just never really know what you're gonna catch. So cold weather days, especially days like this when you're in a smaller boat and it's super rough out, come out these little coves, fish some docks, no telling what you're gonna catch. So a lot of times the bigger trout in situations like this will be out here in the deeper cove. So I'm gonna just take a break from the docks and do one cast out in a little deeper channel and see if those bigger trout. I'm seeing some small ones. I've had some small ones come chase my lure up, and all the trout have seemed to be hitting out closer to me. And so I'm thinking they might all be out here in the deep stuff. So I just got something. This is a little lizard fish. So yeah, we're certainly on a multi-species day here. Ooh. Well, another little flounder. Another little guy. There we are. It's a little snook. Little snook. Yeah, we just shifted from that cove and just fishing, just trying to stay. Oh, it just jumped off. But yeah, just got out of that cove and fishing just again the docks, right? And this is the dock. This was actually this is much shallower than planned. This is the original section I planned to fish. There's really no water on these docks, but there's a little bit of water on this one, and that snook was sitting right on the outer edge, or like right where it should have been, and ate that jig. Let's see if we can get some more. There's probably going to be more than just that one, so we'll get a couple more casts up there and see if we can make it happen again. Oh, got him! Yep. Oh, he's got me wrapped around the piling. There we are. Actually, this might be a big old flounder. Oh no, redfish. All right, so now we've been out for maybe an hour, and we've now at least hooked one of all 4 species that we targeted. Pretty cool. It's a nice looking redfish here. The cast right after that snook. There we are. Redfish on the board. All right, so we've last 2 casts up at this dock have been good. Jumped a snook and then caught a red. So we're gonna get up in there again and just dissect every inch of this area. We know there's fish around, and it's just a matter of getting the bait down there and covering as much of this area as we possibly can. We're gonna go super slow. Just got one. There we are. There we are. That's a decent sized fish. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger. Yeah, another redfish. All right, so another red back at that same dock. 3 casts in a row, gotta love that. Yeah, and so 1.2 is all 3 of those fish were caught after the tail had been bitten off. So when this does happen, don't think that you need to throw it away. At this point, I do need to throw it away because it's totally slipping out. So I do need to discard it, but I never I never throw them away until they just don't stay up on the hook. So even this little small chunk can catch a bunch of fish. So what's interesting is I just switched to a full shrimp, with the tail, and those are the only casts that I've had at this dock that didn't get eaten. So they might be focused on smaller prey right now. Oh, there we are. Oh, that's a bigger fish. All right, got him off the piling. Nice. I think it's another little redfish. All right, still not the big one, but a nice looking red, a little 2-spotter. That one should have a hit. Oh, got him. Right, we got another one on. All right, it's another red. Now we got a 3-spotter. Got him. All right, oh, dang it. All right.
I got the 3 maybe? On the 2 sides.
Oh, got him. There we are. Got another one out of this dock. The redfish on the board. Ooh, there's got to be some fish on this next. Oh, there we are. There we are. Nice fish. Got snook. Got a little snook on. So yeah, we've been out for just about an hour. We've already caught 7 species of fish. The weather's tough. We're battling some tough conditions. But dang, it just got off. Oh, got him. Got another fish. Oh, nice little snook. All right, snook. We've lost a few by the boat. We got one in. Nice little guy. Let him get bigger. All right, we got a trout. Trout on. There's actually one following it too. Just taking it real slow, bouncing on the bottom. Trout on the board. Let's let him go. All right, well, that was just a quick video on what to do after a cold front. For years, I wouldn't even bother fishing on a day like this, just thinking that there was just no chance I would stay home or make up an excuse on why I didn't go. Or if I did go, I really wouldn't catch a thing. I was just totally going to the wrong places, and I just did not understand why fish move the way they do based on weather, based on the actual conditions, on weather and tide. I just never was able to put it together. And if you're that way too, I've been there, I know how frustrating it is. And so I put together an online course that covers everything you need to know. It covers what to do throughout all seasons, but more importantly, it covers the biology of fish and the science of water and how that relates. So that after a cold front comes in, how that changes the water, and then also how the fish react to it, so that you can put yourself exactly where they're going to be. Just like today, we fished for maybe like an hour, hour and a half. We had a lot of action. And what you'll find after knowing this is that it's surprisingly easy. Fish are very predictable. You just have to know what things to look for, and then when the different factors are important and when they're not important. And so if you do want the shortcuts to all that, our online course, the Inshore Slammer, I'll put a link down below, covers everything you need. You have lifetime access to it. And best of all, it comes with an entire year guarantee. You have an entire year to go through it, use it, make sure it works, and make sure that it's worth way more than what you paid, or else you can get your full money back. So, and if for whatever reason you're not ready yet, I will send you some more videos, but again, the course is going to cover everything in a much more condensed time. So if you value your time, I would recommend just go ahead and get in the course. It's risk-free, but if you don't, I'll send you an email tomorrow that'll cover some tips on the win factor. So anyhow, we'll see you there.